Starting a pressure washing business is not as easy as a lot of people make it out to be on the internet. And in this video, I want to walk you guys through all of the negatives to starting this business. So that way, if you're thinking about doing it, you can come into it fully prepared. I'm also going to tell you how I combat each and every one of these. But if you stick around to the end, I'm going to share with you the one mistake that almost put my company and my business partner, Mike's company, completely out of business. So if you're serious about being successful with this business, I definitely hang out until the end. But this month, me and Mike are giving away a full year of Quote IQ Elite. That is our top tier with InstaQuote, InstaSchedule, route optimization, mass text and email blasts, email automations, pipelines, as well as a bunch of other awesome features that you can try for absolutely free right now at myquoteiq.com, which will be the first link in the comment section and the description. But we're also giving away one full year of our virtual call team, so that way you never miss a call again. And we're giving away 5 Quote IQ ads. There's over 20 to choose from, so there's something there for everybody. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment down below, I want to win, in order to be entered. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the dark side of pressure washing, all the negative things that you're going to have to deal with if you look to start this business. First and foremost, I want to dive into the high physical wear and tear. Okay. A lot of people might be watching this video and saying, Justin, I ain't no wussy. I ain't no sissy boy. I can handle it. And yeah, you might be able to handle it on day one. You might be able to handle it on week one, on year one. At the end of the day, these things start to wear and they start to compound on us, right? The long hours on your feet, the long hours in the sun, the long hours in the heat, back, shoulder, joint pain from hose dragging, wand washing, and all these repetitive motions that we're doing. And if you guys don't believe me, look at guys that have been in the business for 20, 30 years. Okay. They look like they've been run over by a truck. And I mean, no offense by that, but this work is demanding and this work will wear you down. So the way that I remedy this one, first and foremost, one thing I used to do is I used to get regular massages. And y'all might be like, Justin, that's like the weirdest I've ever heard. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if you're not taking care of your body and taking care of yourself, what good is all the money in the world? What good is all this money that you're getting? So I prioritize self-care first and foremost. And I would just work in things like massages, obviously going to the gym, eating well, drinking a lot of water on the job, and then leveraging other things to make me more money. So that way I don't have to always be washing. Yeah, we still do jobs from time to time, but we also have employees. We also have other businesses that we're in. We're diversified. And that way I'm not out 24/7 washing roofs, houses, and concrete. So I highly recommend you guys take care of your health first and foremost, and put that at the forefront of your mind, because making, 2, 3, 400 grand a year with a pressure washing business is great. But if it costs you your health, then, what do you have at that point? So first and foremost, the first negative is high physical wear and tear. Number 2 is constant equipment maintenance. So you guys don't see it a lot. Basically, all we show kind of on YouTube is how the job got done, what it looked like in the process, and how much money we made, right? But we don't talk about the pumps that break down. We don't talk about the hoses that blow out. We don't talk about when the tips get clogged and have to be taken off. We don't talk about how it happens mid-job and how it like stops our flow and we got to shut machines off, or machines just turn off because, fuses blow. We don't show all of the constant equipment things that go wrong and the constant equipment maintenance that needs to be done in order to maintain these machines that are essentially making us a living. We also don't talk about all the replacement parts that we buy and the repairs that, that we have to do. Sometimes we don't do all the repairs. Sometimes we outsource those things. We don't show that stuff a lot of times, right? Another thing is cheap equipment can only go so far. It's going to cost you in the long run because it's going to break down. But at the end of the day, all this equipment is going to break down. Nothing is going to run forever. And if you don't have the ability to troubleshoot on the job or to work on this equipment or to solve these problems, then pressure washing probably is not the business for you. And one of the ways that we combat, having, equipment issues is being able to have somebody to drop the equipment off to, okay? Because not all the time once we finish a job can we go home and tinker with equipment and try to figure it out. So we have places that we can bring this equipment to get worked on. We also invest in good equipment so that way it lasts a long time. And we just do our best by having as many replacement parts on the truck as possible so that when inevitably one of these things breaks on the trailer, we have a way to fix it and we have a way to get back up on our feet. But constant equipment maintenance, constant troubleshooting, these are all normal things within the pressure washing business. Number 3 is weather can kill your income. Okay. So whether it's rain, whether it's cold, whether it's, wind is blowing so hard that you can't even get chemical on the roof. These are things that we don't talk about because we just figure out a way to make it happen, right? I've had videos where, I was filming and then it started raining so hard that we just had to shut off the camera and try to get the job done as quickly as possible before we got drenched or before the lightning came and we had to stop. So weather can be an issue. We are working outside in the elements. Also, winter months, in colder states means there's no work, or you have to pivot into a different service business. So weather can kill your business. There's not a lot that you can do. All you can do is work through it and plan accordingly. So, for example, like on line striping days, we make sure that the weather is 100% clear. We've done jobs where it actually rained while we were doing parking lot striping and completely ruined the entire job. And we had to basically explain why to the customer. And that's never a good look. So, we must prepare ourselves for bad weather and, operate accordingly. So some customers can have unrealistic expectations about what can be done as far as cleaning their property. And this is something we talk about all the time, setting customer expectations first and foremost about we're not giving them a new home. We're just cleaning all of the organics on it. You also can get blamed for pre-existing damage or stains that, can't come out. I used to fall prey to stains that I couldn't get out. Like I would have an oil stain. I'd see orange on the concrete. The customer would say, "Hey, can you get this out?" And I'll say, "I'll do my best." But I didn't know that there was certain chemicals that needed to be applied in order to remove those stains. So I was unable to set customer expectations because I didn't even personally know how to clean them. And that's why we recommend the How to Wash 2 course so much, because in that course, we go over how to clean every surface on a residential property, all the equipment, all the chemicals, all the procedures on both residential and commercial. So that way, when you get on these properties, you can speak intelligently, you can have the protocols in place that you need to have in order to get the job done effectively. And you have an arsenal of all of these different services that you can now offer to make more money for your business. So highly recommend, if you guys haven't checked that out already, How to Wash 2 will be linked in the comment section and the description down below if you guys want to get your hands on that course. Lastly, as you guys know, reviews can tank your business. We've had unhappy customers that have left us 1-star reviews just simply because we refuse to service their property. And I've made videos on that. And bad customers are just a part of the game. We just try to have as many good ones as possible and outweigh the bad. Number 5 is property damage liabilities. So let's say that you're, on a property, you strip some paint, you destroy a window, or maybe you blow water in seals. I've had people tell me that previous contractors have broken the mesh on their, window screens, which is absolutely terrible. Maybe you kill some landscaping with some chemicals, right? You can hit electrical boxes, AC. There's so many things on a property that can go wrong. And this is why we put so much emphasis on knowing all the things that can go wrong, mitigating with property protection, and then documenting all these different things on site so that way you don't get blamed for things that you didn't do. That's why our pre-inspection form within Quote IQ is absolutely priceless. You can go through Mike's entire 28-point checklist, take pictures of everything from paint that's missing to screens that are broken, whatever the case may be. That way you don't get blamed for something that you didn't do. And you can send that over to the customer. You can use it as an upsell opportunity to make them aware of all the services on their property that you can also upsell into. So if you guys haven't checked out Quote IQ, I'll have that link below. But knowing all the things that can be damaged on a property is another thing we cover within How to Wash 2. And it's another thing that will prevent you from losing out on a ton of money. Also, having insurance is a good way to go, right? If you damage somebody's property and you damage the wrong person's property, they're going to want that fixed. And oftentimes, some of these issues, like if you get water into an electrical box, like good luck fixing that with less money than you started your business with, right? Like let's say you only had $500. Well, now you're in a bit of a pickle, and now you really need some insurance. So when it comes down to it, yes, people can operate without insurance, not legally, but they still can. Highly recommend to get it though. In the instance that you mess up something at somebody's property, this is their biggest investment. So those are the ways that we mitigate. Our pre-inspection form, knowing how to not damage a property via a tool like How to Wash 2, as well as having insurance that has our back in the instance that we mess up something on accident. Number 6 is a race to the bottom on pricing. Now, you'll hear a lot of guys that maybe have been doing this for a while get jaded about pricing and talk all about all the guys that are, racing to the bottom with regards to pricing. This is an easy issue to fix. I want to talk a little bit about it first and foremost. A lot of people will blame it on oversaturation of the market, that there's too many people offering the service in too many areas. And my rebuttal to that is, great, offer a different service then if you're getting beat out by new guys. The thing is if you've been established in business for a long time and you've been doing all the right things, it's going to be incredibly difficult to knock you off. A lot of these guys, their whole business model relies on them getting repeat business and word of mouth business, and they don't want to do any marketing. They don't want to do any advertising. They want to charge whatever they want to. And that's just not the case. Yes, there may be more people in this space than there was before, but that just means that you need to become better. And by watching videos like this and learning these kind of things, this is how you're going to become better. Guys will say, oh, newbies are coming in and underbidding the jobs just to land them, and they're driving down, the prices, or, clients often go with the cheapest option. Well, I would argue that if newbies are getting your jobs, then you're marketing in the wrong places, because a newbie could never come in and steal my Google jobs because we rank too high and it took us too long to build that authority. And if clients are going with the cheapest option, then you're getting clients from the wrong places. If you're getting all your clients from Facebook, it's no wonder because they don't need to get the service done. They're going to be price shoppers. We like the people that are calling us because they have a birthday party this weekend and they need to get the job done this week. Those are people that are motivated, that are going to be willing to pay a premium price for a premium service. And we also enjoy clients that want to get a good service by a good company and don't want to be screwed around by somebody new who's going to blow holes in their siding or blow holes into their mesh screens on their windows. There's a couple different ways that you can combat this. The biggest one, though, is getting your leads from the right sources. Now, the 100K blueprint that we built literally breaks down all of the marketing efforts that we currently do to build a rock solid incoming stream of customers so that way we can continue to service these customers and service the right customers, not the bad ones. So I would highly recommend if you're somebody who's worried about oversaturation or race to the bottom, figure out how to market your business to get more customers. And there's things that you're doing wrong, and we lay it out in the course. The course is $300. Like I tell guys all the time, this course literally has landed us 20, 30, 40,000. We did a $40,000 hospital cleaning off the information in this course, and guys won't even spend $300 to get it. It's like, dude, I can't give it to you for free. I can't spell it out to you for free. Even if I made a video giving you all the secrets on here for free, you wouldn't watch it. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll have that course down below. But highly recommend if you're somebody who's serious about doing this, dude, pay the money, skip the learning curve, and jump ahead of all these bozos who are out here talking about everybody's cheap. They're pricing too cheap. It's a race to the bottom because it's just not the case. Number 7, licensing, insurance, and compliance. So you may need multiple licenses. We get this a lot, mostly with people in California. Like usually it's really tough. You got to spend so many years under somebody else as an apprenticeship in order to get licensed with a business license. Not so much where I'm from. This isn't as big of an issue. Paying for insurance for workers, that can be very expensive, especially when you need workers' comp and things of that nature. And there are large commercial jobs that actually will make it mandatory in order for you to land it. Like we've had, $20,000 job and they say, hey, we need workers' comp or you guys aren't coming out to do it. And it's like, I guess we're going to spend the money to get workers' comp because we want to do it. So some of these things can be a bit of a hassle, but not having them can also destroy your business. So we'll leave the hard up to you guys. Either it'll be hard to figure out how to get it or it's going to be hard to figure out what to do when you don't have it. You know what I mean? It's one of those situations. So number 7, licensing, insurance, and compliance. It can be kind of tough at times. Number 8, chemical handling risks. Okay. So bleach and other soft wash chemicals can be hazardous, right? We're dealing with chemicals that, frankly, I wouldn't want to touch. I've had bleach get on my hands and stuff before. It'll burn your skin. It'll cause respiratory issues. A lot of people ask me, how do you deal with bleach? You just deal with it in the best way that you can. And so this is when we're getting into, that number 1 again, where we're talking about health and safety and stuff of that nature. So, always wearing glasses is a big thing. I always make sure I wear glasses. I always make sure anytime I'm handling bleach, I'm doing it with the utmost precaution. Anytime the bleach smell is like too much for me, I just don't breathe it in. I'll just walk away. I've also seen guys get those, kind of gas mask things. So that way, they don't have to smell on the bleach. But basically, we're dealing with hazardous chemicals, especially some of these harsher chemicals for like removing paint, removing rust, like all of these chemicals for removing specialty stains. They can get a bit hazardous, if you will. Mixing them is never a good idea. So this is one of the downsides to the pressure washing business, but it's also part of the game. I used to try to figure out how to do my job with regards to pressure washing without the chemicals. Like I would clean concrete without the chemicals. I tried to do as many houses as I could without the chemicals. But at the end of the day, if you're going to be doing houses, you need to have some of these chemicals. It's going to make it easier, faster, and you're going to damage less properties with the proper chemicals. Now, if you just want to do driveways, you can figure out a way to do it without them. I did plenty of driveways without ever using any chemical, and it worked out for me for a long time until I wanted to get more serious and make more money and do more jobs quicker. So chemicals and handling risks is definitely one of the downsides to pressure washing. Number 9 is unrealistic clients. I'll be honest with you guys, you don't get these too often, but sometimes you do, right? You get last minute cancellations. Hey, we want to push it out into the future. We can't do it right now, whatever the case may be. You get people that don't text you back, which is really rude. I've heard of guys getting no-shows for estimates. So, they say that they're going to meet up with you. They never do, and they never text you back, and they kind of ghost you. That just kind of comes down to where you're getting your customers from, how high is their intent to purchase. And if they don't have a very high intent to purchase, they're not going to have really any motivation to get back to you. So this goes back to getting your leads from the proper places, right? The last one with regards to unreasonable clients is slow payments or outright ghosting after the job is done. We haven't got a lot of that. We've gotten maybe one or two instances of people not wanting to pay, but slow payments, absolutely. We've had customers want to split the payment in half, pay once this month, once next month. Commercial clients are really notorious for this, and we're going to talk more about that a little bit later on. But unreasonable clients, absolutely. You don't get a ton of them, but when you do, it really does suck. Number 10 is it's a one-man show at first, right? So you're doing everything, okay? This is a business, and you're going to have to wear every hat in the book. You're going to have to wear the marketing hat, the quoting hat, the customer service hat, the accounting hat, the maintenance hat, and you're going to have to do everything. You know what I mean? Like, it just, in the beginning, it's a lot just on you. This is why it's good to have a partner, right? I enjoy having a partner, especially if you find somebody that has a unique skill set to yourself. So you guys both bring different things to the table. For me, I know I've always been good at the marketing piece. I've always been good at getting the job piece. I've always been good at now the software piece and knowing how to manage and operate a business. Now, on the other end of that, I'm not as good with the chemicals. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't get on roofs. I don't like to scale ladders and things of that nature. I don't like fixing equipment. So it's better for me to team up with people that have those skill sets of being cool with the chemicals, getting on roofs, climbing ladders, because those people typically don't have the same skill sets as me with regards to acquiring the customer. So it's a one-man show at first. Splitting it in two, getting a partner is a good way to go because you got somebody to lean on, especially if you can lean on somebody with a different skill set than you. I'd highly recommend that. That would be how I would combat that. Number 11 is marketing nonstop. Okay. So negative, right? You are a salesman, just as much as somebody who's cleaning. I've heard somebody refer to this as, we have a marketing company that just happens to offer pressure washing. We don't necessarily have a pressure washing company. And I completely agree with that because if, let's say, pressure washing slows down, it's time to change the business. We're now a holiday lighting company. We are now a gutter cleaning company. I know guys that hang gutters. Like, we are whatever makes money. And when we're not that, we are marketing to find whatever makes money. But basically, you are marketing nonstop. You got to figure out the SEO. You got to figure out the Facebook ads, the Google My Business listings. You got to figure out the Google ads. Because if you're not, then you're invisible. And if you're invisible, then you're not getting customers. And if you're not getting customers, then you're not in business. So basically, you want to figure out the marketing piece and you want to have things that you do every single day. This is something that within me and Mike's one-on-one coaching, we always focus on. We help you build a marketing plan and we help you figure out the daily actions that you need to take in order to reach the places that you want to go, in order to get the jobs that you want to get. Because there's not a one size fits all with regards to marketing, but there are things that move the needle more than others. So I highly recommend, if you're serious about this, you set up a call with us. At the very least, get the 100K blueprint course. We lay out a lot of what we talk about in there. Number 12 is not all the jobs are glamorous. Like, guys, this is nasty work. Whenever you're cleaning the base of a house, whether it's concrete or brick, and you're getting that mud sprayed up right back into your face, it's dirty work. Whenever you're cleaning grease traps behind restaurants or you're having to clean dumpster pads, it's nasty stuff, guys. And it doesn't look that bad on the internet because, you're just watching somebody clean something. But dude, it gets pretty gross and grimy at times. And, I've even done trash can cleaning. And there's been times where there's maggots in trash cans. And it's just kind of something that you just have to deal with. So not all the jobs are easy. Not all the jobs are glamorous. Not all the jobs are, super clean, because that's what we're doing. We're here to clean them. So not a lot we can do about this one. You just have to know that going into it, there's going to be some nasty stuff that you have to deal with. Number 13, it is time consuming to set up and tear down. Okay. All you guys see when you're watching these videos is us actually doing the work, but you're not seeing the transporting of the equipment. You're not seeing the filling of the water tanks, the getting gas, the going get chemicals. You're not seeing the wrapping hoses or breaking the hoses out and packing them up after the job is done. You're not seeing all the things that are taking up time and taking up energy in between us going from job to job. You're just seeing us do the job. So something to keep in mind. The more intricate your setup, the more difficult this is going to be, but also the easier it can be. So you can get hose reels that are basically electric that'll roll themselves up. And it was a lot harder for me when I first started. I was carrying around a 4-gallon a minute in a van, and I'd have to pick it up and roll it around, pull the hoses. Like, it was really annoying in the beginning. So as your setup kind of gets better, it gets a little bit easier with regards to your setup and breakdown, but there's always going to be hoses that need to be wrapped, water tanks that need to be filled, chemicals that need to be transported. Like, all that stuff is there, and it is time consuming, and it is a bit of a pain. It's there's no money to be made in it, but it's necessary in order to make the money. Number 14, scalability is difficult if you don't have the right information. Okay. Hiring reliable help is a super tough piece to this. We actually just hired a new guy into our wash business, and he's great. Like, but it took me a hire to get to him. So the guy that we tried to hire before him no showed us. We talked to him multiple times. We had an interview process. Everything was great. The day he was supposed to come do the work, he just no showed us, and that was really tough. But we hit it on the second one because we have a bunch of things, and I got this from Mike. I have a bunch of things that I put in place with regards to hiring in order to find a person that's really good. I'm not going to explain it all here because it is a lot, but if you're going to scale, then you have to figure out the hard pieces, and hiring reliable help is a hard piece. Another hard piece is letting go of things not being perfect. You have to let go of, you have to do the job or it's not done right. Like, someone else is going to have to do the work and do it the right way in order for you to scale your company. Because if every single job is on your back, that's going to take a toll on you first and foremost, and you can never scale it. You can never make more money than what you're able to do as far as your labor goes. But being able to hire good help is, I would say, one of the most important skills to scaling any business. And so it's something that you need to figure out, and you need to be able to relinquish control to those people, and you have to trust them, and you have to trust that they're going to have your business's best interest at heart. So scaling is hard. Not if you know the right things, and not if you're willing to persevere, though. Number 15, pressure washing is not passive income. Social media might tell you guys that, these things are passive income. There's really no easy money that's made. Okay. Anybody that's talking about easy money on the internet, I guarantee it took them years to get there. It took them a lot of learning curve to get there. It took them a lot of work to kind of lay a foundation. And any business that I've gone into, I've realized very quickly that there's no easy way to success. And if there is easy way to success, then it's a quick path to failure, right? Because the harder it is, the less people that are going to give it a try. And pressure washing is the same thing. You'll see a lot of people that are in business for a few months, maybe a year, and then they bounce. And that's the good thing about the pressure washing business is, yes, there is a lot of people trying it out, but most people will not make it. Most people won't make it to the end of this video. I guarantee maybe 15% of people that clicked on this video are even listening to me right now. And I'm literally giving all the sauce, all of the worst parts about this business and how you can combat them for yourselves to be as successful as possible. And they won't spend the time to listen or implement any of the things that I'm telling you right now. So pressure washing is not passive income. It's not easy money. It's no guaranteed six figure. If anything, there's more people in it now than there ever has before, which just means that you have to be as good as you can possibly be in order to be successful. And a lot of guys will try to look for the perfect business out there. The perfect business does not exist. The perfect business is the business that has good opportunity and the ability to make good money. And anytime you have a formula like that, then you're going to have a lot of people that want to get in and make a lot of money with it. So if you're dedicated, though, if you're in this to win this, then you're going to stick around and you're going to do the best you can. And you're going to listen to stuff like this, and you're going to implement the advice, and you're going to use the tools that you have to your disposal, which is all the stuff that, I talked about earlier on in the video. But with that being said, let's go and jump into the last piece. And this is how me and Mike almost lost our businesses. And that is relying too heavily on commercial work. Okay. Commercial work is great. We have about $40,000 right now in unpaid invoices. Okay. So if we were solely reliant on commercial work, we would not be able to feed our family right now. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. Commercial work, there's a monster opportunity to make a ton of money, but a lot of times you'll get ghosted on big jobs. We just quoted a $25,000 retirement community, and after we went through the whole process, we spoke with multiple people. We went out there, quoted it, sent the quotes, followed up. The guy texted back and said, hey, they decided that they're not going to do anything with it right now, but they're going to revisit it in 6 months. So sometimes you go down the path of putting in all this work, trying to land a job, and it turns into nothing, unfortunately. But that's just part of the game, right? And this also happens with regards to doing work for commercials. Like I said, we got 4 jobs right now, a little over 40 grand that needs to be paid out with regards to invoices. And we're just waiting. And it's a waiting game. And sometimes it's 30 days, sometimes it's 60 days, sometimes it's 90 days. You never know. But it's just part of the game. So if you don't want to lose your business, be diversified. Be diversified into residential, into commercial, and into industrial. Commercial and industrial are going to pay the slowest. So that's the beautiful thing about doing residential. Residential, it's same day. Same day. They Venmo you. They pay you through Quote IQ, which is great because they always use the review multiplier. I get free reviews all the time. They pay you through whatever the case may be the same day that the job is done. Commercial, though, you got net 60, net 30, net 90, whatever the case may be. And if you get too caught up in commercial, then you're going to be waiting on money. And if anything crashes, then you're going to be out of luck. And that's how Mike almost lost his business through the crash. And I believe it was '08. He was probably 90% commercial, and they weren't doing very much residential at all. And the market for commercial buildings and stuff went way down, and they lost a ton of work. So anyway, you want to be diversified. You want to make money in a bunch of different areas. Commercial can be a big hitter with regards to making money quickly, but you don't want to put all your eggs in that basket. So if you guys made this far in the video, comment down below your favorite drink, and I'll hashtag you a real one. Could be alcoholic, could be non-alcoholic, whatever you guys want to do. We're going to have some fun with this one, and people are going to be like, why are people commenting Hawaiian Punch on this video? And they should have watched till the end. I'll be honest with you. If you guys want to check out all the links below, I'm going to leave all the resources that I have for you down below. I want nothing but the best for you guys. That's why we put together all these different things for you. But if you made this far in the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, how's hard? Get that money, baby. Peace.